Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a vertical scrolling background, and in that background we will be using stars, and as an object we will be using a rocket ship. So let's start. To start with, the first thing I want to make is the rocket ship, and let's first make the variable for that. So make the variable of x and y for the x and y position of the rocket ship, and then we will be calling this, initiating this x position to be at around 190 and y around uh, let's increase first the canvas size. So let's say it's 600 and height as 700. So let's make this change this from 190 to 300, and so it becomes in the middle, and make this as 640, so as lower down it will start as possible. Okay, now let's come down to the background, and in the draw, and in the draw we are going to make our rocket ship. So to start with, the first thing I want to make is the body of the rocket. So for that I will give the color right to it to start with, and then I will use the ellipse, and in the ellipse I'm going to give the x and the y positions which I've made there, and then I will be making this as 30 in the width and 80 in the height. Let's see this one. So you can see the rocket ship is appearing here, down below here. Okay, now after doing that we need to make the side fins of it. So let's make that, but I want the side fins to be appearing behind it so it will not affect the body of it. So let's make that. So let's give it a fill, and this time I'm going to use the fill which is, let's say, 30 and 144 and 255. So it's kind of bluish it will be. So again we will be using in this one side fins we will be using the arc, and for the arc also we will use the same x, and the y we will use, and this y, because we wanted it not to be appearing in the center here, we want it to be a little bit down below, so we will be adding 35 right now. I'm adding, and let's see that it will work or not for us, and then we will be then give that roughly 50 and 40 spacing in them, and then we have to make it upside down one, so pi and then 0, and we want it to be have the closing, so we have to give it a chord. Okay, so now let's see. Now you can see that they are appearing and they look fine right now. We will change a bit afterwards when we make the front fin also of it. So let's try making the front fin. For the front fin it should be over the body, so we will go after the body one. So we will write again the same color I need, so I will just copy this down and put it in here, and then after that, and I have to use the ellipse in this one to make the front one, and the ellipse will again have the same x and y, x, y, and the x and y needs to be down below, so again it needs to have a little bit lower, so giving it this much plus 35, and after doing that it needs to be size, I don't want the width to be more, so it's 5, and after 5 we have to give the width of it, sorry, height of it, so height 30. So let's see how it appears in that. So you can see it's appearing quite down below and it's quite bigger than we expected. So let's change the height, sorry, the y position of it. So let's see that, and you can see it's moved a bit up. I can move these bit down as well if I do, for example, this as 36. Let's see what will happen. So it moves down a bit more, and I can make this as 40 as well. Let's see what will happen. It looks much better this way. Okay, this is done. Now the let's write it down so you know that this is the front fin we made, and this one is the body, and this is the side fins. Okay, after doing that we need some white circles in the middle here to show, so we will be taking the ellipse and putting it just below these, so we will call these windows, and we need to give it a fill of white, so fill of white I'm going to give, and then these are again the ellipse, so I will use the ellipse, and these ellipse are because they are in the upward direction, so I will use the x and the y, and in the y I will say that it's minus 12 and then 15 because I want to keep it same size. So you can see it's up here, and here I think it should be in the plus direction, it's below, so let's do the same here. We will keep all the things same, it's just the y position of it we will be changing. So let's say it's plus 6, a little bit down. So after doing all this, let's see, now you can see they are perfectly placed and all is done, but it's all is good, but still it needs some flame because it needs to go up, and the flame we need to make, and again the flame will come behind even the side fins. So let's make the flame of that, and we will make the flame, animate the flame as well. So let's do that. So to start with, I'm going to use no stroke, and after doing that the next thing I need to do is I'm going to give the fill, and the fill is more towards the orangish side. So, and ellipse I'm going to use again, and ellipse will have the x and the y position, so x then comma y, and with this y I'm going to add 35, and then I'm going to give it 20 and 60, width and height. And now I just want to see, so you can see there is nothing happening. It's just orangish yellow, darker side of yellow color is there. I need to make another one of these, so, and that one I'm going to give pure yellow color. So let's do that first, and then let's make it dynamic, animated. So in the ellipse, after doing that, I'm going to use again the X and the Y, and then I'm going to use the same 35 because the Y position I want it to be same. And then I'm going to say that this is of 15 and 40, a little bit smaller than the previous one, and it should be coming over it. So you can see there are two different ellipses, but they are of different sizes. Now how to make it dynamic. So for making it dynamic, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this 35, and instead of that I'm going to write random, and that random will have the value of 35 in it, and I want it the flame to be increasing, so 35 to 55, and the same I'm going to do in the other one also. So I will remove this 35 from here and paste this thing here, so plus 35 instead of 35, because if I make the same both in both of them, then it will be similar way, they will be increasing. So I'm going to decrease one of them from 55 to 50. I just change a little bit. Apart from that, nothing. So I'm going to save my program and I'm going to see. Now as you can see that there is you can, when you will be making, you can see, or maybe you can see right now also, that the flame is now increasing and decreasing, and it seems to be the rocket got a flame which is moving. Okay, this is the flames we made, the whole of the rocket ship we made, and this is a done thing we did. So let's write rocket here. Okay, so this is the first thing we made, so in our whole project. So the second thing is, let's now change the background color. So right now is white color, and if I change the background to 60, it will be darkish grayish color, and maybe now you can see the flame moving, and when I will make it move more, then it will be, you can see easily that how the whole thing is working. Okay, the second thing now I need to make is I need to make the stars. So let's make the stars, and stars I'm going to be calling inside the setup, and stars is actually what we are going to make is the array of stars. So array of stars will start from, let's say, from 500 position. So I'm taking it from here somewhere 500 position, and then it will go up. So the initial position is in the positive, and as it moves up, it will be all minus. So let's start with that. Then the second is at 300 position, then at 0, then at minus 200, then at minus 400. In the same way, I will be making around a lot of these, so it will go to minus 4000. So this is, I'm doing 1200 minus 1400. This is gradually going upwards and upwards. So this is very important, because there was one question I was asked that in the last project when I was telling about the horizontal scrolling, that why the clouds disappeared after a while. So the clouds disappeared after a while because the number of clouds we have made in the array, they were appearing, and definitely they will not be all appearing at that time. So for that reason we have less clouds. So this time I'm making more stars so you can see it for quite some time, and then you can see this animation in a proper way also. So this is done. 4000 height of the stars we have made. Not all the stars you can see right now, until I will show you the scrolling part of it. So right now we will see some of the stars. So when I do that, nothing is happening because I have to call this array inside the draw. So when we call the array inside the draw, the first thing I need to do is I need to make a push and pop one. This I need it because the push and pop function will carry the translate, and the translate will be used in scrolling and everything. So right now I'm not making the translate thing right now. I'm just making the for loop for this to call the star array. So let's start. Let I is equals to 0 and I is less than stars dot length, and then I plus plus. So after doing that, now I'm going to be calling these stars in that. So the first thing I need to do is to give it a fill, and the fill will be something like closer to the yellow color. So this is it we are doing, and then I will be making the stars with the ellipse function, and I will give the x value as hardcode ones, and I will give the y values as the array ones. So the for loop will iterate through it, and then I will be making, since I want the stars to be seems to be like blinking, so I'm going to give them a random, and the random will be in their height and the width, and that I will be saying that is 10 and minus 10 and minus 10, and then I will repeat the same thing in the height also. So in the width and the height I've given this, and let's try this out first. So you can see there are few stars appearing in one line because x position is not different. So these are one of them. Let's make some more of these. So I will just copy them, and I want them to be appearing at different positions, so I will be doing this quite a few times, so at least 5 times. So how many I've made? 5. One more. Okay, so let's give it first one 150, then let's say is 220, and then 350, 450, and 580, and something like that. And let's see what we can do with that. Now you can see they are appearing in the single lines at different positions. Yes, so if I add some add or subtract, subtract is the right word. So I want it to be the higher positions as well, so I will do that. So let's see, is there any change? We see that move to a little bit further into there. Okay, okay, let's do some more of these and then we'll see what we can do. We can also make add the eye here as well some places, so that will be great. And 350, let's say, is minus I, and this one, yeah, it's fine with this one. So let's edit tidy code. Now you can see better. Okay, and let's do that and see any change. Not much. It will be changed upwards, not in this direction. So let's just add these random, or we can leave that as well. Let's see what will happen. Let's just scroll it, then we will come back to it, and we can do some of this, playing around with these. Let's see what will happen in this one if I do that. There is some difference in the Y position needs to be changed, so I will add these random numbers. So minus 730 and so minus 850, one of them, the Y position, another 350, let's say, and then another one with minus 450, and then another one with minus 250, and then minus 680. So should create some uh, variations. Now you can see that they are appearing at different positions. They are not like before. I will just remove these multiply ones. It might create more of the difference, so just removing that, yeah, is fine. And you can see the star seems to be blinking like that. I just want to try one thing, that if I say that is blinking like that, it's not minus, so how it will be? Will it be any change? No, actually there is no change, so it's better off that way. It's at least it's easier to remember and do the thing with that. Okay, so this is our stars done, and let's tidy our code. So a little bit of stars you can see here, and now let's move on to the next bit. The next bit is the important bit which will make the scrolling work, and for that we need to make first the scroll variable, and after making that scroll variable we need to call this scroll variable. So I will be calling this scroll variable just here in the setup, and saying that it's at 0 position, and then inside the push and pop in the draw I'm going to write translate, because I want it to be translating the whole thing. So last time, if you remember, that the background was moving horizontally in the opposite direction to the object. So in this case the background will be moving vertically. So for that, last time we put the translate in the X position. In the X position we have put the scroll in the translate, and this time we will be putting 0 in the X position, while we are going to put the scroll in the Y position, so it scrolls in the Y vertically. Okay, this is done. Now we need the rocket to be moving and the whole background to be moving, and for that we need the logic to be working. So once we finish with the rocket, we have some space in the draw, and there we will be making the logic for this whole thing. So the next thing we have to make is the logic part of it. So in the logic, what we need is for the logic, we need the directions which this rocket can go. So it can go upwards, it can move backwards, it can move sideways. So for that, we need to make the variables of is up, is down, is right, is right. And one more is left. Once the variables are made, then I need to call these variables. So here I'm going to call under the scroll that is up in the setup. Is initially all of these movements will be false. So is up, is down, they are all false. So as you can see, they are all false, and let's remove these spaces in between. They are all false at first in the setup. Now in the logic portion we are going to call, and we will make them true in the key press function. So let's start. So first condition we are going to make, and in that condition we have to tell what we have to do. So is up is the first one. So is up, if it's true, then in that case check that if y is greater than the height times 0.2. Just like the last time, it just the y position instead of the x position we are taking, and the height we are taking instead of the width. So we did that, and then we are going to say that y, how much we want to change the y in the minus direction. So minus is equals to 5 we are going to change. And in the same way, this is the first condition done. No, sorry, not done. Else we have to say wrong placement. Else we are going to scroll in the opposite direction as always. So scrolling will be opposite. So positive scroll we are going to do. So this is done. This is the first part of it, and we are missing a bracket here. So you can see if you do brackets like this, you can see easily that how many brackets you are using there. So this is done. So we will copy this for convenience, and then I'm going to write it again, this thing, and this I will be doing it 2 more times, because there are 4 ways it can go, so 4 times I'm going to do it this. So this is the first time, now this is the second again, now this is the down part of it, so we are going down. Now here the thing will be changed to less height and 0.8. so when we say 0.2 is this height and 0.8 is this height we are talking about. So in this, when we are going down, definitely the y is going to be positive. Scrolling will not change, it will be the same in all 4 of them actually. Okay, now y is done, is down, is done. Let's go to the right. And the right, when we are talking about horizontal, so it should be from y to x, and this should be not the height, in fact the width of it. And let's say the width, we want it to go a little bit deeper in, so we will change it to 0.3, and again the y will be changed to x, and because we are going in the right, so it will be plus also. This way is plus, in the on the left it will be minus. Scrolling remains the same. Now comes the left. Now if left is true, again the x, and the x will have the width in that, and here we will change it to, like this one is 0.8, and here we will be saying that this is going to be 0.7. One thing we didn't change here, like here is greater than, and so we have to change the left to be less than, because we are coming towards this side. Whenever we go towards the negative side, we are going to be in the minus we are doing. So negative left is, so okay, I did something wrong. So here x is -5. Yeah, so x is -5 here, right, because we are coming towards the left, so it's negative, and x is positive on that side. Yes, and we have changed everything, right. Scrolling remains in all the cases +5. Nothing will change in that. Okay, let's come out from the draw, and now we are going to be making the key press function. For that will be controlling the whole thing. That's the last thing in the whole of this we will be doing, that will make our whole thing working. Key pressed, and then in this we are going to say that if key code is, let's say, up arrow, when it's up arrow we will say is up is true. Is up is true. So after doing that, the same thing we have to do it multiple times. So the same thing, copy this key code thing, we will change the keys which we want to use. 4 times we have to do it. So now the key will be down, down arrow, and this is also down, and then instead of this one we are going to say right, and this is going to be right, and this is going to be left, so left, and this is going to be left as well. Okay, this key press function is all down and all done, so we copy all this and we have to that on key release what will be happening. So on key release we have to change this from key press to key release, and we have to change just this thing. All the true will become false when the key is released. So that's the only change you have to make in the key release. All the other things remains the same. So after doing all this, let's try our thing out, and let's see. Now you can see as I move up, my rocket is moving up, and you can see the stars are at different positions and things, and I can move sideways also, and I can move the other side also. There's something I did wrong. I'm not coming on the right, sorry, left, coming to the right. Oops, I did something wrong. So I have to check my if statements in the logic for the right and the left, what I did wrong. So let's see that. So I said that if x is greater than the width, then 0.3 you do, and sorry, this is the thing I did wrong. It's not 0.3, it's 0.7 when we are doing towards the right, because positive when we are going towards is more, and this should be 0.3. Okay, let's try this out again. So you can see when it moves upwards, it's slow in the editor, but when you open in the results one, you can see that you can move the background. This keeps on moving, and you can see the whole thing. It's slower in this one. Let me open in the share full screen. So let's see in there. Okay, let's try that out here. Now you can see the rocket is moving much faster, and still we have some problems with the right and left. We can come down, yes, but right and left is not working, so we have to debug it. So let's go back and do that. So let's see in the logic part what we did wrong. So when we say 0.7, let's change this to less and change this to right, and let's see again. Now yes, now it's moving right and it's moving to the left, and let's keep it as 0.8 and 0.2. So basically the thing which I've done wrong here is when I was using the down one, I have to keep the whole statement the same. I'm not doing anything wrong that way. So when it's moving towards the positive, the width, it should be less than the x should be less than the width at 0.8 here and 0.2 here. So that's the thing which was going wrong. So upwards and downwards movements are fine. The side movements. I have to open again. Yes, the side movements are fine also. They are moving. You can see, and as we move up, it's moving also. So if I save the project and open it in the save the project from here, and now I open it here and refresh. So after refreshing it, when I click on the screen, I'm able to go up. I'm going side to side. You can see I'm not going out of the screen, and my background is moving also, and my rocket is also moving, and you can see the flame also, and you can see the stars are appearing at random positions, and it's quite a lot, and now they disappeared. So this is how you can make the rocket and the things. The one thing I have not made in this is the rocket stand. I should have made the rocket stand as well, and for that it's not much code. We can add that, and it will give a more realistic nice appearance to the rocket, and that will be good for us. So let's make it inside the push and the pop after the, because we want the stand not to be remaining. We want it to disappear once it have a lift off. So let's say the fill is something great, so 130 let's say is there, and let's make it with the rects. So rect in that case, let's say is somewhere here. So let's assume it's 150 position, and no, not 150, because we have to keep it according to the this thing. So 300 we are here, so let's say it's at 40 less than 300. So let's say it's at 260, and then 600 position, and 10 and 100 size. Let's see first one where it's appearing. So it's fine, it's appearing at the good position, so we just need to do the same with the others also. So let's make 4 of these for the stand. So it is starting from 260, and then we will have the Y position change in one of them. So 610, let's do it, and make, I wanted a horizontal one, so I'm going to make it 40 and make this as 10. So this is changed, and then in the second one also this remains the same, and this I wanted another stand to be here, so 660, and let's make it 50 and 10. Okay, let's see this much first. So they are appearing like they are standing. One of them I want to make it at the exact position, so I will say at 300 it is, and the Y also 640 just behind it. So when it leaves, you can see that it's standing on something. So this is 10, and its height should be 200. Let's see how much it will be. So you cannot see it's behind, but let's try this out. Let's try this out on our other one, save it, and the other screen, let's refresh it. Yeah, the stand is there, and now you can see the stand is not anymore. You can see the stars, they are blinking and it's moving upwards, and you can move it very nicely. Actually from this animation, if you want, you can use the dist one and you can make it work as well. So this is how you can make a vertical scrolling background, and you can have it working. It's all fun, and you can make these animations with that. So thanks for watching, hope you like it, and see you in the next video. Bye.